Hello, welcome to more yoga with me, Emily. Thank you so much for joining me today. As you can see, my mat is on an angle, which means we're going to flow today. But also thinking a little bit about what we talked about last time. So the idea of um, doing yoga that feels good. so um, some of the things that I'm going to be suggesting today might not feel good on your body, particularly Vashisthasana, or the side plank from the hand, can be quite wobbly and quite intense for a lot of people on the shoulder, on the wrist. What you're welcome to do is to go down to your elbow, right? Elbow on the floor, side plank, and then you're taking this joint out of it. So you all of a sudden only have to stabilize here and here, and it becomes a much more stable pose. And in fact, a lot better for your shoulders. Well, not better, but if you're prone to impingement or soreness in the shoulder, it can be really good to do side plank from your forearm. The other pose that we might try to get into is called Wild Thing. And a lot of the times I see people just kind of flinging themselves from a three-legged dog, flipping the dog over into Wild Thing. But when you're going, you have to be really cognizant of the integration of that bottom shoulder. Because I've seen some gnarly shoulder positions once people go upside down. And if that shoulder is not really kind of locked in and in a solid position, you can do yourself some damage. So if Wild Thing is not part of your normal movement vocabulary, then don't do it. Right? Do yoga that feels good for you. You can stay in three-legged dog, or you can try picking the leg up or doing a couple movements back and forth. I will, of course, also talk people through it. So it's going to be a lot of shoulders, a lot of core, and then half an hour will be over very soon. So let's start in a seated position. You can be cross-legged, you can be on your shins. I'm sitting up on a block just because I find it helps my hips a little bit. And then I might ask you to close your eyes unless that triggers something or you feel your eyelids flickering. And then for a few breaths, gentle inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh your breath away. A couple more. And continue breathing however you need to, whether it's in and out through your nose or your mouth. Take a little loop of your shoulders up, back, and down so that the shoulder blades are nestling onto the back a little bit more. Very subtle squeeze between the shoulder blades, just to lift the chest, lift the heart a little bit more. Right, without gripping or forcing. And if you notice as you sit here that your spine starts to round or the shoulders creep up, then just gently find more length through the spine and that little depression and retraction of the shoulder blades. Last few breaths here. And then gently flick your eyelids open. Make your way to hands and knees. Eventually setting up with knees underneath hips, toes can be tucked, or untucked. Hands outer shoulder width apart or wider. So this spacing of the arms is very important. It gives your shoulders more space, so that you're less prone to impinge at the shoulder joint, and gives you a little bit more strength. Right? It's like if you have a barbell over your hands or your head, your arms aren't going to be super close together. You're going to give yourself a bit of natural space there. Little draw of belly button to spine. As you inhale, lift the tailbone, hollow through the lower back, broaden through the collarbones, and exhale, round. Inhale into cow. Exhale, round into cat. So a few more of these cat and cow undulations on your own time, on your own breath. And as always, feel free to move how you need to move. If there's any little niggles or kinks in the body that need to be worked out, then work them out. And then slowly come back to hands and knees. Little draw of belly button to spine. And from here, I want you to think of really pressing the floor away from you. So there's a big, big, big protraction of the shoulder blades, pressing that space between the shoulder blades up to the sky. And then keeping the elbows straight, allow your chest to dip through. So now there's retraction of the shoulder blades. And then press, and then retract. So these are called scapular push-ups. You might stay here doing them on hands and knees. Some of you might choose to reach the legs back, tuck the toes, and do them from your feet. Elbows stay straight. And enough of that. Come all the way down onto your belly. Little wiggle of the hips from side to side. Untuck your toes. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. So much so that you feel your kneecaps lift away. Send your tailbone to the back wall. And then you'll feel your belly button lift toward your spine. Wrap your shoulders onto your back. Inhale, lift the heart forward and up. Baby cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Couple more of these on your own time. On your own breath, hands could hover or come out off the mat. Try to keep the back of your neck long though, so rather than lifting with your chin, think of pressing the back of the head up to the sky. One more breath here. Then plant your hands, tuck your toes. As you exhale, lift your hips all the way up and back into downward facing dog. Adjust your stance, and then feel free to pedal the heels toward the floor, wag your tail from side to side. Moving however you need to move. And then try to send the weight more into the fingertips, or at least the knuckles, and out of the heels of the hands. Bend the knees a little bit more. Press the floor away from you. Send your sit bones back. And then really cognizant of what your shoulders are doing here. As you inhale, ripple forward into high plank. You may need to shuffle your toes back. And as you exhale, lift the hips up and back into downward facing dog. So a few of these. Inhale, ripple forward, high plank. And exhale, pike back. And then pause in downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of your mat, standing forward fold. You could sway a little bit from side to side, or clasp opposite elbows with hands. Little wiggle or shake, whatever you need. And then with fingertips to shins, inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, let it all go. Whew. Couple more. And then charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Arms overhead. Exhale, hands to prayer. And then you might pause here, or hands by your side. You can always fix your clothes if you need to. And then close your eyes, unless you're feeling really dizzy. And then take a little rock side to side, forward and back in the feet. Just see where your balance is today. And then flicker your eyelids open. Little draw of belly button to spine. Hug the legs toward each other. Shoulder blades on your back. On your inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Maybe follow with your gaze. Exhale, dive or fold down to the earth. Forward fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Inhale, hop, step, or float back to plank. Exhale, lower all the way or partway to the earth. Inhale through your baby cobra, or maybe upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of your mat. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, right back down to the earth. Forward fold. Inhale, lift up partway. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, lower all the way or partway to the earth. Inhale through your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. On your inhale, lift your right leg high, three-legged dog, and then bend the knee. Start to stack your hips open to the right. That right armpit will want to lift. Can you wrap it toward the floor a little bit more? Hug the heel toward the bum. Lift that right knee up even higher. And then inhale back, three-legged dog. As you exhale, step your right foot to your thumb. Back knee can be up or down here. And then inhale, come up for lunge. I'm having major wardrobe malfunctions today. If your back knee is down, you can have a padding or a block or anything under the back knee. And then inhale, the arms up to the sky. Chill out on the shrug muscles. Again, you might be here, you might have your back knee lifted, up in high lunge. Little squeeze of the bum on that back leg. Drive through the front heel. Grab hold of the sky with your right hand. Exhale, sweep your left hand to the earth. Twist to the front knee. Now, make sure that bottom shoulder isn't jutting forward. This will be important when we get to Vashisthasana and Wild Thing. Wrap it onto your back. You could be on fist or palm or fingertips. And then inhale, the right arm up. Maybe you draw circles here. Maybe you stay still. Whatever you need. And then slowly bring that right hand back to the earth. Tuck your back toes. Inhale, step back, high plank. Exhale, lower all the way or part way to the earth. Inhale through baby cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your left leg high. Bend the top knee. Open the hips. Little lift of belly button to spine. Wrap that left armpit toward the floor. Hug the heel toward the bum. Lift the left knee even higher. And then inhale, come back. Three-legged dog. Exhale, step your left foot to your thumb. Back knee can be up or down. And then inhale, come up for lunge. Back toes can be tucked or untucked. Wrap that right hip forward. Draw your left hip back. Sink into the front knee. And then maybe inhale the arms high. Really squeeze the bum on the right side. Grab hold of the sky with your left hand. Exhale, sweep the right hand to the earth. Again, wrap both shoulders onto your back. And maybe you draw some sweeping shapes with this top arm. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, flow, down dog, child's pose, wherever you need to go. Couple breaths wherever you've landed. Could be in movement, it could be in stillness. And then let's meet back in downward facing dog. Here we go. Touch the big toe mounds together. Maybe lengthen your stance a little bit. Inhale, ripple forward, high plank. Bring your right hand forward and up slightly or in. And then start to roll to the outside edge of the right foot. Vashisthasana on the right side. Keep that right shoulder really locked. Again, you can come down to your right forearm and then press the hips forward and up. Maybe so much so that you start to get a little bend. And then release the left hand down. Come back, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg high. Bend the top knee. Now you might stay here or look forward at that left hand. Turn it out ever so slightly. Lift the hips, ripple forward a little bit. And then maybe you start to flip your dog into wild thing. And then inhale. Get really cognizant of that shoulder. Back three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can flow if you would like to, or take a little break. Shake out your arms. Whew. It's funny, these little sequences that we might have done quite often pre-COVID, and then all of a sudden you're left to your own devices, your own practice, and you just don't do the things that you don't enjoy as much. Not that I don't enjoy this, but it's not my favorite. Let's come back to downward facing dog. It's because it's hard, right? All right. Lengthen your stance. Tap the big toe mounds together. Inhale, ripple forward, high plank. Bring your left hand in and forward a touch, and then slowly roll to the outside edge of that left foot. Really press the floor away from you. Woo. Hips forward and up. And then slowly release the right hand down, hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg high, and then bend the top knee. Open the hips. You might stay here or turn that right hand out ever so slightly. Ripple forward a little bit, and then look where your toes land. And then start to lift the hips up to the sky. Really press the floor away with that bottom hand. And then inhale. See, I dip my hips to come back to three-legged dog. Exhale, release, flow. Down dog, child's pose. Wherever you need to go. And in fact, let's all release into child's pose or a seated meditation just to give the shoulders a little break. Let's meet back in downward facing dog. Take your time getting there. On your inhale, lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your right foot to your thumb. Pause here. Look at the back leg. You might step it up a little bit and then plant the back heel. You want the back foot on a slight angle. Wrap the left hip forward. Draw your right hip back. Now, the wider your feet are, the more accessible this will be. Belly button to spine. And then de-weight the left arm. Reach it forward and up. And then the right, drive through the front heel. Inhale, come all the way up to warrior one. Now the idea is that we've set the foundation, but you can always adjust it wider or narrower. I like to keep hip width between my feet here, and then squeeze the bum on the back leg, supercharge. All right, squeeze the top of the thigh. Can you de-weight the big toe on the back foot? And then bring your hands to prayer. Lean forward on a long line. Keep wrapping that back hip forward. Inhale here. As you exhale, twist to the right. Keep the elbows lifted though. You might stay hands in prayer. You might open the arms. Keep supercharging that back leg towards straight. We forget about it as soon as we twist. Inhale, back to center. And then plant your hands. Step back, three-legged dog. Right leg high. Bend the knees, stack the hips. Maybe you stay here, maybe you turn that left hand out ever so slightly. Ripple forward, a touch first. And then inhale, the hips high. And then slowly, mindfully come back. Three-legged dog. Come back, downward facing dog. Both are the big toe mounds touching. Inhale, ripple forward, high plank. Bring your right hand forward slightly. And inhale, Vashisthasana, side plank. Maybe you lift that top leg. And then return, downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your left foot to your thumb, pause here, fingertips on the floor. Check out your back foot, step a little bit wider, wrap the heel to the earth. And now as I do that, my butt sticks out to the left. So I'm going to really think of wrapping my back hip forward, front hip back, belly button to spine, and then reach the right arm forward and up, and then the left, and then drive through the front heel to come all the way up to warrior one. Right? If you need to adjust your stance, then adjust it, and then start to supercharge the back leg towards straight. Squeeze the bum, squeeze the top of the thigh. De-weight the big toe on the back foot if you can. Chill out on the shrug muscles. Bring your hands to prayer. Lean forward on a long line. Keep wrapping the hips towards square. Inhale here. Exhale, twist to the left. Now keep the elbows lifted. You might stay here. You might open the arms. I forgot about the back leg. How about you? Keep working it towards straight. And then inhale, back to center. Exhale, plant your hands. Inhale, lift the left leg all the way up and back. Three-legged dog. Bend the knee, stack the hips. Maybe you stay here. Or turn the right hand out, ripple forward slightly, and then slowly flip your dog over into wild thing. Inhale, back. Three-legged dog. Exhale, the left foot to the floor. Bring the toes together. Ripple forward, high plank. Bring the left arm forward and up slightly. And then into your side plank. Vashisthasana. Release your right hands to the earth. Downward facing dog. And then knees to the earth. Either seated meditation or child's pose, wherever you need to go. If you're in child's pose, just gently slither yourself forward onto your belly. Or if you're like me, you might come into low plank first and then lower down. Little wiggles of the hips from side to side. Untuck the toes. Press the tops of the feet into the earth. Tail on the back wall, shoulders on your back. Inhale, lift the heart forward and up. And exhale down. Couple more on your own time. The next time you lift up, pause there. Arms could reach back along beside you, palms up or down, or hands interlaced if you wish. Maybe the legs reach so far back that they de-weight as well. Wrap everything back into the center line, and then fingertips and toes reach further back. Exhale, release all the way down to the earth, one cheek to the floor. Deep belly breaths to release through the lower back. And then roll all the way over onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Take a little rock from side to side. You might draw circles with your legs here. Anything that feels good. And from here, extend your right arm out to the side. You might shift your hips right a little bit to start with. As you exhale, lower your knees to the left for a twist. Now you could take your knees stacked. You could take a single leg twist. You could cross your legs. Whatever you need here. As gentle or as deep of a twist as you need today. Maybe you look along the right arm just to finish off the spiral in your spine. Last breath here. And then slowly inhale, return to center, reset your spine or your pelvis, shift your hips left. Exhale, lower the knees to the right. Again, as gentle or as deep of a twist as you need. Allow the tension to release from the chest and the shoulders after all the work that we just did. But the twists are also good for releasing into the oblique abdominals, which we worked in both Vashisthasana and the transition in and out of Wild Thing. And then slowly inhale, return to center. If there's anything else you feel like you need before your rest, posture or meditation or breath work, please feel free to take it. Otherwise, think about where you would like to go for your rest. You could be flat on your back, legs bent or straight in Shavasana or big old starfish pose. You might choose to rest on your side or in child's pose or in a seated meditation, wherever you need to be. And then once you've found your pose of rest, for 3 breaths, inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh your breath away. Remember, they don't have to be deep, just gentle sighs. And then let go of all your breath control. Return to a natural breath. Let go of any last tension or gripping in your body, particularly in your face or your jaw. Stay here longer if you can, 5 or 10 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.